The supraglenoid tubercle gives rise to the long end of biceps. The infraglenoid tubercle, which is extracapsular, gives rise to the long end of triceps. After the glenoid, you have a finger-shaped projection, which is called as coracoid, which is directed anteriorly and externally. Anterior and outwards. AE. The coracoid gives rise to 3 muscles and 3 ligaments. The 3 muscles are pectoralis minor, the coracobrachialis, and short head of biceps. The 3 ligaments are the coracoacromial ligament, coracoclavicular ligament, and the coracohumeral ligament. The glenoid, the capsule of the glenoid anteriorly is strengthened by 3 ligaments, which are glenohumeral ligaments: the superior, the middle, and the inferior. The capsule in its lower part is lax, which allows for abduction. After the coracoid, you have the suprascapular notch. The suprascapular notch has a transverse interscapular ligament here. Below passes the nerve and above passes the suprascapular artery. You can remember this, that artery doesn't pass through a closed space because the artery needs space to expand. On the medial part of the suprascapular notch is attached the muscle which is called as omohyoid. That muscle is responsible for bringing the hyoid bone down, opposing the hyoglossus muscle. It brings the hyoid bone down at the end of deglutition. Then you have the superior border where nothing is attached. The medial border in the upper part gives attachment to levator scapulae. This levator scapulae can be calcified and then it is known as omovertebral bar. It is responsible for undescended scapula, which is associated with a short neck and a low hairline that you call as triple heel syndrome. Then you have the rhomboides minor and the rhomboides major muscle, which tend to retract the scapula. The scapula is retracted by the rhomboides minor and major. It is elevated by the levator scapula. On the medial border runs the deep and the superficial branch of the transverse cervical artery. So here you have the transverse cervical artery. Here you have the suprascapular artery. And on the lateral border, you find the teres major and the teres minor muscles. The teres major has this groove here through which passes the circumflex scapular artery. Therefore, the anastomosis around the scapula is suprascapular, deep and superficial branches of transverse cervical and circumflex scapula. So when there is a block at the level of the axillary artery, the suprascapular and the transverse cervical arteries are branches of the thyrocervical trunk. The thyrocervical trunk gives rise to the inferior thyroid and suprascapular and transverse cervical. The transverse cervical and suprascapular से blood आया और circumflex scapular से वापस जाके axillary artery में वापस चला गया. This is the anastomosis around the scapula. The anterior surface of the scapula gives rise to the subscapularis, The medial border of the scapula gives rise to the serratus anterior, which goes like this and it is attached to the ribs. So it makes the scapula protract. So the terminal degrees of boxing, this movement, is produced by the scapula protract. The rhomboidus major, minor, levator scapulae would retract the scapula. Alright? तो ये बॉर्डर पे जब अटैचमेंट कंप्लीट हो गए तो सर्फेसेस पे अटैचमेंट शुरू होते हैं. सर्फेसेस पे अटैचमेंट में सब स्कैपुलरिस, the posterior surface is divided by a shelf-like projection, which is called as the spine of scapula, and there is a notch at its lateral end, which is called as the spinoglenoid notch. The spinoglenoid notch. And the spine has got a posterior border which enlarges into a process which is called as the acromion process. The spine divides the posterior surface into the superior and inferior surface. The superior surface gives rise to the supraspinatus and the inferior surface gives rise to the infraspinatus. Then there are some fibers that arise from the inferior angle, which is the latissimus dorsi, and the upper border of the spine of scapula. Upper border of the spine of scapula gives rise to the trapezius, which winds round and comes right up to a tubercle here, which is called the deltoid tubercle. The rest of the lower border gives rise to the deltoid. So these are the general and specific features of the scapula. And the two common fractures across the scapula are fracture of the blade of the scapula and fracture of the neck of the scapula. In the neck of the scapula, the picture is almost the same like anterior dislocation of shoulder. The important thing is that you have not brought the clavicle. You should have brought the clavicle with the scapula, but we will quickly deal with the clavicle also. And since you have not brought the clavicle, we will deal with the clavicle by diagram. So clavicle is a S-shaped bone, concave forward laterally, and convex forward medial. It is divided into the lateral 1/3 and the medial 2/3. The lateral 1/3 is flat. It has got a superior surface and an inferior surface, anterior border and a posterior border. Alright. The inferior surface, there is a tubercle here. There is a projection here, a tubercle. From this there arises a border. This border is a line. This line is called as a trapezoid line. It's a diagonal line. And what happens is that if the clavicle is here, this line is running parallel to the coracoid. So from the coracoid to this line is attached the coracoclavicular ligament. The posterior part is called as the conoid and the anterolateral part is called as trapezoid. Since the word trapezoid has A and E in it, you can always remember that trapezoid is anterior and external. Alright? The medial portion of the clavicle is triangular. And as it is triangular, it has got an inferior border also. And this inferior border divides into two. This inferior border splits into two, including leaving a groove medially, which is for the subclavius muscle. The clavicle articulates with the upper part of the sternum. There is the sternal notch here. Then there is another notch in which articulates the first rib. And then there is a third notch. Here is the body of the sternum. Right? The medial end of the clavicle is held down by an S-shaped attachment cartilage, which is called as the meniscus. It is the meniscus of the sternoclavicular joint. Outside the meniscus, you have the capsule. Outside the meniscus, you have the capsule on this. And then you have the ligaments, which are the anterior and the posterior sternoclavicular ligaments. Anterior and posterior sternoclavicular. Then you have interclavicular ligament connecting the clavicle of the opposite side. Interclavicular ligament. Then you have the costoclavicular ligaments. Anterior, posterior, sternoclavicular, interclavicular and costoclavicular ligaments. And below you have going into the groove the subclavius muscle. So what are the attachments? The medial end, the meniscus, the capsule, the anterior, posterior, sternoclavicular ligaments, costoclavicular ligaments, and the interclavicular ligaments. And you have the subclavius muscle. And from the posterior border you have the clavicular end of sternocleidomastoid. Sternocleidomastoid. Okay. On this you have the deep investing layer of the cervical fascia. From the lateral third you have origin of trapezius. So you have clavicular end of sternocleidomastoid, the deep investing fascia, and the trapezius. From the anterior border you have deltoid. Here it articulates with the acromion process, the acromioclavicular capsule, the coracoclavicular ligament, the conoid and the trapezoid part, right, articulating with the coracoid. Alright, and outside the border here, and from here you have the deltoid muscle. You have the deltoid muscle, and from here to here you have the pectoralis major. Pectoralis major. Okay. यहाँ से नीचे चलता चला जाता है pectoralis major, right up to here. Huge muscle. All right. From the inferior border of the clavicle, from the coracoid going on to the ribs, you have the pectoralis minor. You have the pectoralis minor. From the inferior border here and going on to the pectoralis minor. The general investing layer जो deep fascia की आती है, it circles around the clavicle, becomes fascia again. इसके नीचे रहेगा pectoralis major के, and it comes and circles the